Throughout the history of professional sports, we've seen athletes evolve with the advancements in technology. Dating back to a time when teams would study and visualize their game plan from books, to studying replays of previous games on TVs, and now using virtual reality to condition their bodies to the real thing. In this video, we're going to look at how virtual reality is being used as a training ground to breed the next generation of athletes. First, let's look at why watching the game film is such a big thing in sports. If you've watched any documentaries or behind-the-scenes videos of sports teams, then you've probably seen players huddled up watching a game they've played before or by another team they're about to face. It's a very common thing. By watching the film, you can pick up on tendencies that players have, learn their habits and behaviors to certain situations, and be able to better decipher ways to stop them. This is an essential activity in preparing athletes for their competitions, and one that everyone in the NFL performs in preparing for a game. But there's only so much you can gain by sitting and rewatching recorded games of the past. The different pressures and triggers that athletes are exposed to in the game are not the same when passively watching it back on a screen. If players could transport themselves onto the field and practice their positions like they usually would, then they would have the potential to improve their in-game decision making, reaction time, and mental strength. And that's where virtual reality comes into play. Athletes are now looking to use virtual reality for exactly this kind of conditioning. In baseball, there are many different ways a pitcher might throw the ball. They can throw fastballs, curveballs, forkballs, and many more. It's up to the batter to be able to quickly recognize and react to the pitches being thrown. The key here is the batter's reaction, as everything happens in a split second. This is why many teams have started to use virtual reality to put batters in a simulation to give them a nearly identical experience of witnessing these different pitches as if they were there in an actual game about to bat.
There was different pitches thrown because it was a live at bat, so you would have some pitches where it would be a breaking ball and you would actually see that in your first person view as opposed to just like a batting practice pitch.
The NFL and NBA teams have also been looking to use virtual reality for training not only their athletes, but also their referees to better detect fouls. The biggest impact of this technology, however, seems to have been for Formula One racing, especially when paired with specialized equipment to simulate a Formula One vehicle. With this combination of a Formula One athlete, the simulated world provided by VR is pretty much the same as the real world minus the risks of getting into a car accident. Athletes can safely push themselves to the limit, speeding through the tracks driving as they normally would, while experiencing all the bumps on the simulated road. And it's not just athletes that are using virtual reality, their coaches are using it too, and they're using it to get a first-person perspective of what the athlete is seeing while they're performing. The coach can see everything from breathing patterns to even the slightest hesitations. This gives coaches a better 360-degree view of their athletes and where they can provide better coaching advice. Sports teams have quietly begun adopting VR for training their athletes. While VR provides an effective environment for athletes to condition themselves before they go out and perform on the real stage, it isn't just limited to sports. This type of training extends beyond athletic training to apply to wherever you are called to perform. Whether you have a presentation and you're using VR to simulate a live audience with whom you can make eye contact with as you rehearse, or you're a police officer in a simulated environment training to quickly differentiate between hostiles and civilians. VR is a great tool for training in general and one that we will likely see being used much more in the future. As more athletes start to use this technology, do you think we will have more star athletes on the level of LeBron James or Tiger Woods in the coming years? Or is this just a gimmick? Let me know what you think in the comments below and like and subscribe for more.